Today's AskReddit post. What's a harmless prank to play on your friends? Oh boy, this is gonna be a good one. Let's get started. After they leave your place, text them you forgot your phone here. Bonus point if you take a picture of their phone on your kitchen table before they leave and send it with the text, "I'm doing this, holy crap." A masterfully genius plan. If anyone wants me to come over so they can prank me after, I'm free all weekend. Duct tape a harmonica to the grill of your BFF's car. When your loved ones hit 40 miles per hour, they'll hear beautiful wailing sounds reminiscent of Neil Young. The whistles go woo-ah-woo. That's only in the morning. It's like an alarm clock. You should be up cooking breakfast by then. Breakfast. My roommate and I are slowly purchasing frog decorations and just toy frogs in general and seeing how long it takes our other roommate to notice that things are slowly becoming frogs. This one made me giggle. I don't know why, lol, thanks you. Probably because a long-term prank like this requires commitment. Steal something innocuous, like a pair of distinct socks from their dresser. Mail it to your most remote acquaintance. Have your acquaintance mail it back to your friend without explanation. Ultimately harmless, but their confusion after receiving something of their own in the mail from someone they've never met from a place they've never been is delicious. And if you're American, it will help fund the USPS. That assumes you use USPS and not UPS or FedEx. UPS and FedEx contract the last part of the delivery to USPS near me, so it would still indirectly fund USPS. I just always use UPS FedEx for packages. My problem is you are not legally allowed to sue the post office if they lose your package. Even if you buy insurance, USPS will jerk you around for literal months while they investigate, hoping that you just give up. It took me almost 2 months to get $100 worth of insurance, and if I wasn't so spiteful I would have given up. And USPS has lost or misdelivered more mail than anyone else for me. With UPS I can at least take them to small claims court if they don't pay up insurance for a lost package. USPS can just tell me to go duck myself and that's it. But the one time UPS has lost a package on me, I had a refund within 1 business week. 3 days to investigate, 1 day to cut the check, 1 day to get it to me. If you're in a position to do it, make them a celebrity for a day. When I was a grad student we did this to one of our professors. About a dozen of us coordinated to offer our students in freshman composition extra credit if they went up to one of our professors and pretended he was a celebrity and asked for his autograph, get a picture taken with him, etc. We made sure to give them all his schedule for the day, let him know where his office was and just let them loose. He got stopped dozens of times to sign autographs and take pictures. It irritated the hell out of him, but he appreciated the joke. I really like this one, especially if you give them some back history so they can gush things like, "I've read your article in volume 35 number 7 of the Journal of Meteorology dozens of times. I've read your entire Reddit comment history. Shudder. Yes, I have a very important meeting to be at in 4 seconds. Edit. Actually, you know what, I don't even work here." For my friend's 30th birthday, I updated the autocorrect option on her home laptop that whenever she typed in her name, it corrected to "old lady." You evil genius. All the scrolling for good comments is worth it, it seems. My dad is a huge swimmer, and we had a backyard pool when I was growing up. But my dad absolutely hated cold water. He always had the pool heated to around 80-90 Fahrenheit. The electricity bill in the winter was insane, and he got mad if anyone messed with the pool heater. One year, he had a business trip to Europe and consequently got home really late the night of the 31st of March. My mom came up with the idea to buy a bunch of ice and then dump it in the pool after my dad went to bed. A bunch of our neighbors caught wind of this and offered to help, which my mom gladly agreed to, and they all brought a bunch of ice too. We left the pool thermometer out on the patio so it wouldn't register the cold water, and then we proceeded what must have been over 100 bags of ice into the pool, after turning off the heater of course. The next morning, when my dad went for a swim, we got woken to the joyous noises of a string of beautifully put together strands of swear words. Ah, the memories. Although he really upped his April Fool's game up big time after that. If they spend time on their computer, download the Nick Cage Chrome extension. It replaces every picture with one of Nick Cage. That's it. Pulled this one on my mom one time, and she thought we got hacked for a little bit. I had totally forgot that I did that. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes. And I am now aware of multiple extensions that achieve the same effect. Such as 1. One that rickrolls people at random YouTube videos. 2. The one that changes cloud to bot 3. And 1 that changes millennials to snake people. Also, as some of the replies say, don't do this on a schoolwork computer. You don't want to get in trouble. Well, to be fair, she did get hacked. By you. When I lived in Chicago, my grocery store was in a Polish neighborhood. Used to buy piles of Polish greeting cards and just mail them randomly to friends. Which neighborhood? The Polish one. Grab a couple photos from around their house and snap a good well-centered picture with your phone. Then Photoshop something fun into the background, such as a dinosaur, Bigfoot, Elvis, or even just add yourself to a bunch of their photos. Reprint the new version of the picture in the same dimensions. Next time you're around, slip it into the frame over top the original. So long as you don't damage the original, it can be a fun game of see how long until they notice. Edit. Fixed a typo. I did something similar to a trainer's bio at the gym I worked at. I added the entire script of the B movie as a watermark under his flyer. On April Fools a few years ago, I wore my name tag upside down at work. Whenever a club member brought it to my attention, I glanced down at it, looked up confused, and said it looks right side up to me. Our dad jokes this is very funny. I'll be doing just this in the future. A friend of mine sent unmarked postcards featuring different chimpanzees to me about once a week for more than a year. They all had the same message. Having a great time. Wish you were here. Love, me. They all misspelled my name in different ways. They came from all over the world. She'd coordinated with a bunch of people she knew internationally. It got to the point where I saw my letter carrier, and he'd shake his head and ask, another one? I never figured out who was sending them until she fessed up. I know this is a Benaked Ladies song. I believe that was the inspiration. We have an Alexa at my work. One of my co-workers set an alarm to go off on a day I was at work and she wasn't. At 9 AM it started blasting Baby Shark. Scared the ever-living hell out of me. My old boss did this to his wife just before I moved out of state, except it was while she was home alone and it was Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On through the whole house. LOL, I did this to my boss once. We got this really loud timer that we ended up putting a piece of tape on the speaker so it wouldn't be so loud. Anyway, I closed the restaurant and left, and my boss was the only one there doing paperwork, and I set the alarm on the timer for 15 minutes and left. It didn't help that this was at like midnight. LOL, he took it on good stride and tried to pull the same prank on the other managers. Back in college I went to Vegas. While I was there I collected hundreds of those cards they hand out on the strip for call girls escorts. When I got home I put these cards everywhere in my roommate's car. I put most of them on the seats and the floors, but I also hid them in the trunk, under the floor mats, under the seats, in the glove box, in the gas lid, basically every nook I could think of. He thought the initial cleaning up of the ones on the seats and floors was the end of it. Nope. He was finding these cards for years, and every time he did he'd send me a picture of it. It was great. I always enjoyed putting sticky notes over the laser on their computer mouse and watching them try to figure out why it isn't responding. I did this with a coworker once and it was hilarious. Instead of a sticky note I taped a picture of a troll face over the laser. I listened to him make frustrated grumbles to himself for several minutes while I was trying to keep it together. When he finally turned his mouse over he yelled, "Dang it, haunted ice cream," from across the room, at which point we both lost it. It's an excellent, harmless prank. Definitely recommend. Somebody once signed me up for a bunch of free magazine subscriptions. It was several years ago and I still have no idea who it was. One day I started receiving a bunch of random magazines, from home gardening to crochet ones, all in my name. I did this to my friend. A grown-ass man getting 3 different subscriptions to youth equestrian magazines. Still haven't confessed, and he brings it up from time to time. Never tell him. In my experience, they might not believe it was you even if you told them. How many times have you done this? Thousands if not hundreds of times. Leave a random object on their doorstep during the night. If it confuses them enough, it may mildly bother them for the rest of their life. I mean, somebody left a painted rock on my steps and it basically made my summer. Somebody sent me an exploding pipe bomb full of dick-shaped glitter. I'm still finding dick glitter in my kitchen to this day. Years later. Dick glitter. I just love the phrasing. Put googly eyes on everything in their refrigerator when they're not looking. I did this just to the eggs. You'd have thought a demon was trying to kill my roommate at 4:30 AM. Well, she probably didn't want you in her ovaries. Congrats. That took me a second, but it was worth it. I had a roommate that was a major gym nut. He would have raw eggs in his protein shakes all the time. So one day he did something to annoy me, and that night, when I had a decent buzz going, I hard-boiled all of his eggs and put them back into the refrigerator. Cooked eggs are actually healthier than raw. For some reason that evades me. RN. Source. Good Eats. A. Cooking kills bacteria. B. The protein avidin in raw eggs binds the B vitamin biotin so tightly it can no longer be absorbed by the small intestine. Cooking denatures avidin and prevents it from sticking to biotin. Edit. Stripped avidin is the bacterial avidin used for biotin conjugation in biosciences. Avidin is the version found in chicken's eggs. Thank you, kind stranger. If the McRib isn't dead, then where's it hiding? Fork over the McRib. Please. I am only asking nice ones. Hide excess Pokemon or MTG cards in their stuff. Had a buddy who was finding energy cards years after the initial prank. I did that with business cards to a co-worker once. Corporate furnished us with business cards, but within a 3-month period, we had title changes, promotions, and a change in corporate logo, and I got a new box of 500 business cards each time, so only 500 of my 500 business cards were usable by the end of the 3 months. I tucked those cards everywhere in her stuff and she was finding them for years. At work we used to receive these packs of postcards that you could pick what you're interested in and return, and then that company would send you their catalog. One of them was for air freshener and it smelled absolutely god awful, so they would come packed in its own plastic envelope. My co-worker complained loudly anytime someone opened one of those cards, so I made a point of tucking one in the confines under his cubicle when he was at lunch. I just put in a dozen reminders on Alexa at my brother's house that will come up the next 6 months, usually during dinner or breakfast when they should all be around. Remind me in 2 months at 7 PM that Tyler's butt smells. Remind me on the 7th of October at 7:15 AM that Uncle is awesome and smells like rainbows and unicorn farts. He has a bunch of kids, so I think they will laugh well. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the awards. I'm a general prankster. My buddy asks me to watch his house while traveling just to see what I'll do. Last time I ordered 250 small bouncy balls, put them in a box at the top of the stairs and tied a string to the doorknob carefully to the door at the bottom. The light was off and I guess it sounded like a river. I also used clear nail polish on their soap so it wouldn't lather. And I bought for rectal use only stickers to apply to various items. I figured the Reddit community would like more ideas. Love them unconditionally and support them in their hobbies interests. That'll really duck em up. LMAO. Removed. It's just a prank, bro. I actually hate you. Joke's on you, bro. My depression already caused me to assume that all along. Swap their M and N keycaps on their keyboards. Dude, that's so lame. Am I with a grain of intelligence is gomma mossa straight away. Kudos for the effort made typing that out. No problem. No me no problems. I told everyone at work it was the manager's birthday. It wasn't. It started spreading so fast that by the time he came in for his shift, he had about 30 people come up and wish him a happy birthday. He thought he was going crazy. My dad is a huge swimmer, and we had a backyard pool when I was growing up. But my dad absolutely hated cold water. He always had the pool heated to around 80-90 Fahrenheit. The electricity bill in the winter was insane, and he got mad if anyone messed with the pool heater. One year, he had a business trip to Europe and consequently got home really late the night of the 31st of March. My mom came up with the idea to buy a bunch of ice and then dump it in the pool after my dad went to bed. A bunch of our neighbors caught wind of this and offered to help, which my mom gladly agreed to, and they all brought a bunch of ice too. We left the pool thermometer out on the patio so it wouldn't register the cold water, and then we proceeded what must have been over 100 bags of ice into the pool, after turning off the heater of course. The next morning, when my dad went for a swim, we got woken to the joyous noises of a string of beautifully put together strands of swear words. Ah, the memories. Although he really upped his April Fool's game up big time after that. When I was in college, had a guy in our dorm who used to always obsess over how many likes his post got on Facebook. Once he left his laptop open and we set his post settings from everyone to only me without him realizing so nobody could see his posts. Went for a solid week before he realized why nothing he posted was getting any likes. Poor guy probably had his confidence shattered that week, mayo, or just break his addiction to attention. Seriously people, delete Facebook. Your mental health will thank you. While you're on that, also delete Reddit. It's another vice I plan on getting off. I have become an asshole on here. When I was a kid, I would put tape upside down on people's chairs and laugh when they sat on it. Eventually, they caught on that I was sticking tape to them and would check for it when I started laughing at them. Then I stopped putting the tape there, but kept laughing like I did. They'd look for it and couldn't find it. Shorter, more recent one that was well received was writing a bunch of dated fake diary entries and hiding them places I knew they could find them. They thought the entries were the prank, but there was one I didn't write, just skipped that date. They couldn't find it. Edit. Yes, this is the same concept of the classic loose numbered pigs joke. The amount of replies I got bringing it up makes me wonder if I'm being pranked. New term. Psychobullying, because that is next level pranks. I had to watch my own chair to make sure no one got back at me, so I even got myself LOL. The all clear nail polish on a bar of soap is my favorite. Can you explain? I don't know about it. The soap no longer lathers because it covered in clear nail polish. My friend that sits next to me at work was on vacation and my vacation started the day she got back. I packed up all my stuff and locked it in my desk drawers, and when she came back I got a panic text asking what happened and why was my desk clear. I told her I got fired. She believed it for 2 days before one of the managers made me come clean because she was trying to snag all my shifts for OT and extra holiday pay. Smart on her part, LOL. Hire a local actor to run into you and your friend while you are somewhere and recognize you as someone famous. Have them start speaking gibberish and you answer back in gibberish before taking a selfie with them. Then have them just leave extremely excited. When your friend asks what that was all about, just say something in gibberish, and when they say what, just say oh sorry and say it was nothing, and keep the charade going until your dying day. I had a friend do something similar with my parents. A couple of us planned that if either of us saw one of the others with someone who wouldn't recognize us, we'd act real shady and say something take care of him. Next time be careful while getting rid of it. We almost got caught. My parents kept asking me about it for a couple days and got more and more impatient before I finally gave in. Randomly point at nothing on the ground. Hahaha, I had just gotten into photography a couple years ago and I was at a somewhat tourist place and everyone noticed I had a real camera and I saw another guy with a camera too, so I went up to him and asked if he wanted to mess with people and he said of course, so we set up our cameras on our tripods aimed at the most mundane boring rock we could find, talked for 10 minutes loudly about the photo, switched lenses, etc. and made a huge scene, then walked away and watched as all the tourists went up and got pictures of that same rock. Some were more subtle than others and some just walked right up, took a photo and left. I had quite a smile on my face all day after that, imagining them looking through their photos a month later wondering what the hell was up with that damn rock that's in all their photos. I love this one. Everyone always notices the guy with the big camera. Bro, you actually watched the whole video. I'd give you a high five if I was a human. Make sure to click the like button and subscribe for more great content. See you next time.